So, hello everyone. Today I'm going to present Exile and Identity in Rachna Josep's Living India. Academic information, table of contents. So, my research question is, how does exile in Living India reshape the speaker's sense of identity through memory, culture, negotiation, and resistance to assimilation? And my hypothesis is exile in Living India transforms identity from a sense of fixed belonging into a fluid, negotiated space where loss, memory, and adaptations coexist. The poem shows that displacement creates a not erasure but hybrid consciousness, one that resists assimilation while continually reshaping the self between cultures. So, introduction, background of the poem. So, Rachana Joshi has described her first-hand experience of living in North America and its artificiality. So, in this poem, we also find that American dream is broken. This poem breaks the impression of our American dream and lays emphasis upon racism and nationalism. A poem about living India by Rachana Joshi would likely be an autobiographical. So we find a autobiographical touch in her poem, reflection on her personal journey of migration between India and North America. The poem would likely explore themes of displacement, bicultural identity, memory, and the complex emotions associated with living one's homeland, echoing similar themes in her other published works. What is exile? So, physically act of leaving one's homeland. It is a complex and ongoing process that unsettle the individual's relationship with home. It is defined not only by the geographical displacement but also by the emotional and psychological rupture. It creates producing feelings of loss, longing, and alienation. So, in her poem, Living India, we find that she feels alienation, longing, a feeling of loss. She recalling her memory about India, her spices, and her family members. So we find that she feels alienation. Exile depends on the memory of what has been left behind. So making identity and belonging constantly negotiated in the host land. As Edward said, observe exile is the unhealable rift forced between a human being and a native place, whose sadness can never be fully overcome. Identity is a key concept in her poem. So, in Living India, identity is shown as a cultural, linguistic, emotional, and a national. All data-based by migration, the speaker questions her decision to live. So, in her poem, we find that she questions herself why she leave India, which signals the fracture between homeland and hostland. So she feels uprooted in North America, and she also also memorized her memories of Indian culture, family, and all these things. Cultural identity is tied to Indian tradition, food, and family memories. So, linguistic and emotional identity belongs to the rhythms and intimacies of Indian life. A national identity becomes a conflicted as she legally belongs to a North America, but emotionally to India, which she describes with both admiration and criticism. So she says ancient, ugly, magnificent, uplifting, degrading. The poem contrasts home with the foreignness. So this create an internal conflict. So she feels torn between her real roots or when she live in North America. While her present reality forces her to negotiate a hybrid existence, scholars like Christina Georgina Voigt argue that diaspora identity is emotionally bound to the homeland but received in exile, while Nagendra B. Bhandari emphasized that immigrants balance preserving roots with adapting to the host society. So, Rachana Joshi's poem embodies these theories, showing identity is fragmented, nostalgic, and hybrid. So, caught between what was left behind and what is being lived in a new land. Structure, tone, voice in the poem. So, in Living India, the speaker navigates her inner questions, doubts, and regrets, reflecting on the complex emotion tied to migration. The tone of the poem shifts dynamically from initially hopefulness about opportunities in North America to disillusionment with cultural and social challenges, and finally to nostalgia for her homeland. So, Rachana Joshi skillfully uses the contrast to highlight the tension between the familiar and unfamiliar, India versus North America, past versus present, and home versus the foreign environment. The poem is rich in imagery and sensory details. Indian culture markers such as spices, family rituals, as I'm earlier mentioned, everyday life evoke a vivid sense of the homeland, while the new environment is portrayed as artificial. So she feels artificiality in North America. Alien and emotionally distant. This juxtaposition not only emphasizes the speaker's longing but also reinforces the fragmented hybrid nature of identity in exile. Effect of exile on identity in poem. So alienation and loneliness. So she feels separated from where she lives, North America. Uprooted she feels, and she also feels separated from India because she already living India. Cultural loss. So missing Indian culture, food, family, values, rituals, identity crisis, and hybridity. So see trying to adapt to American norms but feeling uprooted, a hybrid identity emerges. Disillusionment. So dream versus reality. The idea of American dream versus the reality of prejudice, distance from a cultural roots. Preservation of identity in Rachana Joshi's Living India. So the poem shows that exile does not erase identity, rather it transforms it. The speaker negotiates the hybrid identity, balancing adaptation to the host country with the preservation of cultural and emotional heritage. So, see, remember her roots, Indian culture, and values. This preservation of identity emphasizes the importance of memory, cultural continuity, and self recognition, illustrating how diasporic individuals creatively sustain their cultural identity in new environments. In a broader context, a poet portrays the emotional and cultural challenges of living away from India, including nostalgia, cultural displacement, and the negotiation of self in a foreign land. From a post-colonial perspective, Rachana Joshi's poem we resonates with Homi Bhabha's concept of hybridity and the third space. Identity in exile is not fixed. It is continuously negotiated between the memories of the homeland and the demands of the host society. The poem exemplifies this negotiation, showing how the speaker adapts the new realities while maintaining ties to her cultural roots. So, Living India contributes the diaspora literature by offering a personal, confessional, situational perspective, addressing not only the emotional impact of migration but also practical realities such as race, visa challenges, and cultural classes. In nowadays, we also find all these problems through this lens. Joshi adds depth to the conversation about identity formation, cultural preservation, and hybridity in the Indian diaspora. In conclusion, the Rachana Joshi's Living India, Exile, disrupts the speaker's sense of identity, creating feelings of alienation, nostalgia, and internal conflicts. However, this displacement also fosters a deeper awareness of personal and cultural values, highlighting what the speaker truly cherishes. The poem demonstrates that identity is layered and dynamic, encompassing nostalgia for the homeland, regret over living, resistance to a complete assimilation, and adaptation to a new realities. Exile may physically remove an individual from their country, but identity shaped by memory, culture, and lived experiences is carried along, transformed yet enduring. We also connect her, Living India or her Rachna Joseph's poem to Sujata Bhatt and Kamala Das's poem. They also explore identity, exile, and they also explore this identity, exile in their poem. Here is my references. And thank you. Now you are free to ask questions.
Devangini, my question is, what does the poem tell us about identity in exile?
So, poem tells about identity in exile is not fixed. Uh, its challenges and also adapt over time. Even when someone leaving their country, but they also feel their roots in their memories and in their values. So it helping them to made a hybrid new kind of identity.
So, Devangini, my question that why does the speakers feel a nostalgia in a living India?
So yes, speaker feel nostalgic in living India because she memorize her Indian culture, families, spices, her roots. So she feels nostalgic about this. Thank you.